Hello. Look at that. We got Pat and John on here.
I think every time we hit start, a dog comes through the dog door. I think it's
like a
every single
Pavlov
time.
thing. Ooh, hey Paul, thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah,
here.
what's up, Paul? All right.
Oh, this is the other Paul. This
Yeah.
is the Paul that took over.
Yeah,
this Paul.
this is the better Paul.
This is the better Paul.
He is also a teacher.
Ooh, fun.
Retired teacher, but yeah.
Well, I can't wait to get to that day. I've got years for that to happen.
If we go to Gamers Ranch, you'll get to meet Paul.
I am excited. We should do Gamers Ranch. And Pat, you're invited to Gamers
Pat,
Ranch.
you
Because I think
definitely
you're
need to.
semi-close.
Pat, you're in Nashville? Is that right? Or
No, it's in Kentucky. It's by Louisville somewhere. Louisville.
I don't know how far that is from.
I'm not sure either. I think it's a couple hours.
Is Tennessee on top of Kentucky or Kentucky on top of Tennessee? Which one?
I don't know. I don't teach social studies.
Is that not
Dad,
geography?
yeah, but that's all encompassing with that.
Oh, okay.
A couple of Pauls here and a pair of Pats. We got Patrick
Oh
here
yeah,
too.
we have Patrick. All right.
Patrick, Pat, Paul, awesome. We had a very good month last month.
Yeah, we
I think it
did.
was about 27 games.
Yeah,
at least that's what the thumbnail says.
So we had it's been a long time, but we had a convention like day one of the month.
Day one.
What else?
And then
we had
you and I had a game day.
right?
Yep, where we played a bunch of good games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I went to St. Louis, played with these guys a couple times. So.
yep. So a lot of good games. I had a little impromptu game night the last day of the month also, so that was a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll go ahead. There you go, Louisville. How far is that from Gamers
Louis.
Ranch? Look up Gamers
I
Ranch.
think it's outside of St. Louis, right?
Yeah, it's close by there. Yeah. How far is that from St. Louis? If it's not super far, we should plan Gamers Ranch.
We're gonna plan it without you anyway. Just
That's
to let
true.
You know.
That is true.
You can blame the
Very true. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started here.
Oh, banger!
Banger. First thing up, this is Gentle Rain. No, I normally wouldn't include this, right? But I actually got to play this one with Lola. And it was super cool. So if you don't know anything about this game, there's I think like 13 to 18, I don't remember. There's just all these tiles and they're just matching patterns and shapes, matching these little flowers here that are on the screen. And so what you do is you draw a tile, you place it in front of you, you draw another one, you try to make a little flower. You try to get 4 of them together to where you'll have a little open spot, and then these flowers will be placed in the open spot. So I was done watching, I don't know, Karate Sheep for the 50th time
I
on
don't
Netflix.
even know what that is, but all right.
It's Netflix. It's the worst. Side note, for this one, Lola likes putting the audio description on. Do you know what audio descriptions are?
You told me about this
Okay.
last time I was
Oh,
over
okay.
there.
Yeah, so she has it described to her as they're playing. Anyway, I was done with that. So I pulled out this game and we were playing it, and she actually like got super into it. We played like 2 or 3 just back to back. Now she was just putting stuff down and matching them. There is a little bit of strategy with the game, and she wasn't doing it whatsoever, but it was a lot of fun. And she just kept asking to do it. So a lot of fun game, really liked it, super easy, and the 5-year-old understood it, and it was much better than Karate Sheep. So next one, John says Gamers Ranch 2000 a night. Did not know it was 2000 a
We
night.
need Pat. I don't know if he knows that Pat is currently unemployed, but
Yeah, very true.
2K a night, that's more than yeah.
Well, okay, so right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's
Joe?
only 5, 6. I was going to say the wives, but we're still paying for that, so it's a little bit under 500 a night.
Well, if you get 10, 200 a night is not bad.
Yeah, we can definitely get more people.
The Anarchy. So I got to play this actually at the beginning of the month with Joe, and then because I had so much fun, I played it again, starting the solo campaign, did number 1. It was really good. So if you've ever heard me talk about Hadrian's Wall, you have heard me say that that is a solo-only game. And should only ever be played as solo only. And I definitely thought that the Anarchy was going to be exactly the same. But Joe wanted to play it, mostly because Joe wanted to see if he wanted to get it. He liked the idea of the castle building thing. And we had a lot of fun. It is still very much like Hadrian's Wall, where we're not really
interacting.
Yeah, there's one part of interaction, drafting the path cards. But besides that, and that's very minor, very, very minor. Besides that, completely different interaction. But what's different about Hadrian's Wall than this is Hadrian's Wall, everybody's attacked the same. Your left cohort, your right cohort, your middle, everybody got the exact same attack. This one is not that. Your cards are laid out, Paul's cards are laid out, and it was just fun, even though we're like technically competitive. Of like we were like, oh, how are you gonna deal with that? Or oh, you know what, you could get these tactics or whatnot. Or oh, so we were like helping each other, like
Defend or whatever.
Hey, this is a way you can do it. Or oh, how did you access your stables already? Or that kind of stuff. It was just we had a lot of fun talking about, because really like what his attacks were didn't matter to me. So it'd be, oh, you've got some mode attacks, right? You're going to block up your mode or that kind of stuff.
Or you have some moat attacks coming, you have no moat.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a whole lot of fun for us to interact that way. Again, like I said, the first time I played it, I think score is close to arbitrary in this, because, man, you get the wrong attack. Like, again, your first round you get a moat attack, and your second round you get a moat attack, and you defended in your moats. Like, okay, great. But your first round you get a moat attack, and you invest in your moats, and then you never have another moat attack. It's like,
Feels bad.
yeah, you did not get the value out of it, or vice versa, right? So maybe you're defending, and then round 5 or 6, it's only 5 rounds, 5. You all of a sudden have turret attacks that you haven't had the entire game, and now you have no defenses for it, and you got to basically, you use your tactics to just defend it with wood or people or whatever the case is. And it's a waste of like, oh, well, everything, I built up these walls or this gate and didn't actually get to use it for the last round. So I don't know. It makes it where scores just kind of whatever. So like in our scenario, I think I won by roughly 10 points to Joe. Not of any like play by his, but he kept getting the, there's trebuchet and catapult attacks that cannot be blocked by anything you build out. You solely have to do tactics on it, which is just a wood sink. And he got them round after round. And so he was having to spend, I'm going to say roughly 5 to 8 wood just for that every single round. And that's not building anything out. So of course he is going to score less, even if he was defending. Now, I will say, I found in the solo play I did, something I didn't like, but it is the game, is I hit a strategic point, right? So part of like your thought is, oh, I want to defend these attacks, right? And I had basically perfectly defended up until the 5th round. And then it became this decision point where I could defend this last attack, and I had to do a whole lot of stuff because it was stuff I didn't actually have. I mean, it was basically going to take all of my resources to defend this attack. Well, in truth, all of those resources to defend that attack, I would have only lost 2 points not defending the attack, and I would have gained well more than 2 points just doing other
From the resources?
doing other things, right? And so I realized, like, math-wise, I'm like, oh, I should just let these attacks
I'm just going to let them go in.
Let these attacks go through and score more points. And it just kind of felt like, it feels...
It's like not the spirit of the
Yeah,
game, right?
that's
Because
exactly-
the game is defend your
Yeah,
castle.
that's what it felt like. It took away from the spirit of the game of like, oh, I've been defending the castle, and I could have definitely defended the castle and fully defended it, but instead I went the route of, I'm going to score more victory points because that's what a game is.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
that was the one minor thing I found that I'm like, I didn't really like that.
I'll go ahead and plug it here. Joe actually just dropped a review for the Anarchy on his channel.
Interesting.
So I had it on the way up
Did he
here
review
today.
it for 2?
He did review it for 2.
I wonder if he played with Shelby or just me.
Devin was name dropped a couple times in the
let's
video. But he did mention Shelby in there.
Okay.
So I think he did play it with her as well. But yeah, go check out that video if you want to hear how it plays multiplayer. So,
Pat and John, I guess you guys are talking about the Tanglewood 20 strong. I didn't back it because I didn't have 20 strong at the time. But now that I have loved 20 strong, I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely want 3 more games.
it's a good one. what's Joe's channel? Board Games for Two, which is it's a terrible YouTube channel for board games because when you type in Board Games for Two, it just shows Board Games for Two players. So what I always do is Board Games for Two Azul because that's his most watched video. And
Can
then
you
I
not
go on
do it
there.
all as one word and it show up?
You might be able to. I'm not sure. But it is terrible to search for it for that reason. Let me see.
Did you guys get, with your 20 strong, did you get the, call it the new base set of dice and everything? Oh, yeah, John said you got dice. Okay, yeah. Because you can actually keep the original 20 strong dice, or you can get the new ones with the Tanglewood.
Are they the same, like, symbols and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, up next we have Arborea. This is a game that we have wanted to play for a long time, I feel like. It's one that that's kind of been just there that we've wanted to. It's a Danny Garcia game. He did Barcelona, Windmill Valley. So just that name kind of intrigued us a little bit. And then honestly, I always really thought the artwork and just everything about it looked really cool. So we got to play it with 3 players at that convention. And let me tell you, I have never played a game that has everything in it, right? This game legitimately felt like it had every single mechanic thrown into it. And it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was a fun game, but there was just a little bit too much.
I really liked the game. The more I thought about the game, I really liked the game. The more I also realized I will never get to play this game again because the 2 people that I would play it with are Joe and Paul, and you 2 would only ever play this because I really wanted to play it, right? I talked to Joe about this on our drive home. He agreed. He said he would play this again if I was like, hey guys, I want to play Arborea, but he would never choose to play this game again. It was the hardest to play game I have ever had to play in. I don't know how to explain this. Not in weight hard.
Decision.
And it's not just not just like, I don't know how to explain.
So
it's not that the decisions are hard. It's that there are 8 tracks on there. On this, there's 4 tracks, each with 2 branching tracks off of them, each with branching paths.
With like 5 different paths, 5 or 6.
And so every turn, you're manipulating one or several tracks. You're getting off those tracks on some aspect, running them. Things in those tracks will then let you place, they call them gifts, in other tracks. So it was every turn, you had to literally scan this entire board. And that's what was so tough. It was, you had to scan 8 tracks, every action that you did, right? And that's, I don't know, it was very hard because of that.
So the game, it's a worker placement game where you're putting dice out, or not dice, where you're putting your workers out onto this board here. And then every turn, those workers are going to advance. So this is the board. Let me take this off here. So this board is just hard to read in general.
Yeah,
right?
It's a very colorful board. It's
Which it looks
neat,
cool.
Very neat and colorful.
But you're going to be putting your workers
these
here.
are like tracks, and they move here, and then they either get off on the top of the track or the bottom of the track. So every action you do, you have to think, okay, where am I placing a worker on the 4 tracks? Because you have other workers, the opponent has other workers, you consider they're moving. Then where am I actually jumping off on that track with my workers? Because which path of the, I think there's roughly, we'll call it 6 tracks on each that they could run down. And then it's these over here, if you can see it, these gifts.
Oops.
They're bonus actions is basically what they are. So you have to think about, you get bonus actions in there. And then truthfully, I think the game would be I think even Joe would play it again if it took away, there is one bonus action that is place a new worker, which then resets that entire process of thinking that you just had. you got to do again. And so it just made, I'm telling you, I was scanning the board of, okay, I got to do this and move this. And the beginning turns were very quick and snappy because you didn't have many workers out there. It was very basic of what you were doing. But by the end of the game, you were moving 2 tracks, you were jumping off.
You were deciding if you wanted to pay spirits in order to do another action.
You were activating 3 different workers, which all then had bonus workers, which could be placing more on tracks, all on top of... None of that is really the scoring points of the aspects.
So the scoring points you had of this, which you had to call the spirits to, and this was a like tile placement where you had to match colors up to each other and place specific workers on there. And then you had to, like, you could overlay them, you could cover them. So not only was there the puzzle for the workers, there was then the puzzle to actually score. And it was funny because when Devin taught the game, it was pretty straightforward. It was, you're doing this action, you're moving the workers.
Very straightforward. And then I got to final scoring.
He said, I promise you guys.
I said, hey, I'm sorry. I got to talk about scoring now. And scoring is very convoluted. And it is. That's the best way to put it. So there's 2 different main scorings. There's the animal part, which I actually really loved. That was one of my favorite parts, was how the different animals interacted with those. I really enjoyed that in the game. And then you had these track scorings, which were you bust out your calculator math, you know. You had to look, how many times have you done this, and where is your peg at, and then this is the multiplier, and multiply those 3 things together. So yeah, scoring was just so convoluted.
I will say, one of my favorite parts about the game, though, was the shared resources. I thought that was really cool.
Shared economy, and it was very neat.
So whenever you'd gather resources, those resources would collect on the bottom of the board, and you had the option to use them. And if you didn't use them... You had the
first option.
You had the first option to use them. And if you didn't, there would be this gap, and that gap would close up, and it would pass certain number of spots, and you got victory points for it, I think. Yeah, so you would get victory points if you didn't use them. And then on somebody else's turn, they would then be able to use it. And there came a point where Joe was just getting us tons of water, which is the wild resource, but he was scoring
massive points
every time. But we would get to like me, and I'd be like, Joe, are you going to make water this turn? Like, that's really going to dictate what I'm going to do. He's like, yeah, I'll make you water. And I was like, cool, okay. Then I can move this track, and I can move this. So that was really cool.
So I'll say, I think the economy of the game was very, very good. So the resource track is really cool because it's all supply and demand. So whatever resource, or if the resource had 0 or very few, you were scoring tons of points if you filled them into the economy, right? Versus something that had a ton of already. If you make that, you're hardly scoring any. And then there was an economy for the actual animal spirits. So you had to call the animal spirits, but because you're the one that called it, didn't necessarily mean you're the one that got it, and the same type of thing. So, you know, you scored more points for getting the spirits that were least out there. And then the spirit track itself. All 3 aspects of the economy were top-notch in this game. I'm telling you, overall, I really like this game. It's just, well, as Pat said, I am a very crunchy person, and to me, it was one level too much.
Yeah, I like all the ideas of this game. I like the scoring at the end. I like the resources. I like the worker placement. It has the Sulkin mechanism of the workers getting stronger, but just putting it all together, it just really convoluted it. Just like you said, it's 1 or 2 steps too much. Because I wish, like you said, it was, you don't have that one extra gift of that one extra bonus of placing a worker, because that really does just start the whole cycle over.
That's all for you.
It was an interesting game.
Yeah,
you crushed us.
I did. I crushed.
It was like 300 to 100, 100 or something like that.
I did. It was definitely a Devin game for sure.
Yeah, you destroyed us.
I will keep it for the fact that my hope is in 6-7 years, Paul and Joe forget about it and I get to play it again. Or one of these...
In 15 years.
Yeah, one of these children take after good old Dad, and we get to play it.
All right. Okay. It was 262 to 196 to 152. So yeah, you crushed us pretty
Paul
good.
got mad that I lapped him. I told Paul, lapping doesn't matter because scoreboards are different, right?
It's true.
Like, who cares what if you got lapped? They're all different amounts. His argument was this scoreboard was 100 and he still got lapped.
Yeah, it's still 100%. I forgot about that. You're right. Astronauts. This was fun. This was a good one.
This was. We hopefully you guys watched it, but if you didn't, that's all right. Go watch it after this. It was our first game of it, and we learned a lot from our first game of it.
It was technically my second game, but it's been years since I played it. But yes.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought, wow, this is a really cool system. I want to play it more. That's what it left me with. I want to try this more. Like, it's really neat. I think it's, probably better than what I compare it to. I'm drawing a blank. Thunderstone Quest is the game I'm thinking of, where you like try and beat baddies. That's competitive, but I would play this over that, like Thunderstone Quest, and it was quick.
It was very quick.
I think if we were not playing this on camera, like this is
30-45 minutes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So yeah, it's really cool.
What I really liked about this is the how you play the weapons first. You load your weapons up, right?
Or you use the weapons you previously played first.
Yeah.
And then
and then you have to load up another one, kind of thing. So I think that's really cool, because it gives you this sense of like planning of what's going to come next. It's whenever you're loading up your slots, right? That's how we were talking. Do you have 2 weapons that you can do? Can you do this? Should I do this? So that's a really cool aspect of the game. And then I also really do like how you just don't shuffle your deck. The order of it really matters on there. And there's a couple times where, the order matters. For me, I'm real bad at remembering order. But for you, you were like, I know I don't have this coming up in my deck.
I'm like, I messed
the only way that we can do this is if this one card comes up, and I don't think it's going to happen. So that's really cool. There's a lot of forward planning in there. The bad guy that we picked was just, we didn't realize it till too late that it was just a race.
Yeah, it was a
to
race.
Beat that
so
one.
we our first couple turns we went like an economy route, and we shouldn't have. We should have just went race mode. But that's cool, and I think it's cool that I don't remember. I think there's 4 villains in the box.
Yeah,
and
4
they're
or 5, something like that.
Different. So I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to play it more.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Pat, what a deal!
That
What a
is
steal!
very good. I think Norwegians might be out of print, or at least it's very expensive.
To that, but that is quite the deal. And
Yeah.
John, we're playing at 5 players these last couple, so that one's not really capable of that. But I would totally teach and play this sometime. So if we ever have 4 or less, we'll do this because it is my favorite game.
Yeah, that's a great game. And
John, do you have the Norwegians expansion as well?
If not, Devin will bring it.
Yeah, I will. Don't buy it. I'll just bring it because I personally, it's one of those. I don't think it is. You're good. I don't call the Norwegians a essential, but it's probably the closest you can get. It does amplify the game a lot, and I will never ever go back.
Yeah. My favorite thing that Norwegians does is it changes up the feeding, not the feeding, but the when you get your harvests, right? So it's not just every this
technically
round and
that
round.
isn't the Norwegians, but yes.
Oh, is that the small
that
expansion?
That is a mini expansion.
Oh, okay.
Called the harvest expansion or something.
I love that expansion. That's one of my favorite parts.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What I like the Norwegians did was 2 things. It changed the board, so it made it tighter, like a real worker placement game.
In the final action.
Your actual competitive. And then, yes, the final action you do is a very powerful action. And so it's deciding when do you do that? I think Paul might do that same final action, and I could be efficient and only do it with 1 worker if I do this first, but I want to do that first. I'm going to use the 2 workers. So,
that's really good on there. Patrick, BGA does have the Norwegians, and I think they're putting in those mini expansions as well.
Nice. I think there's one I don't have, I believe. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
I have the other whatever, islands, and I have the harvest, but I think there's one more that I don't have.
Cascadia. So, going back to A Gentle Rain, this was the first game that we tried playing before A Gentle Rain. I've been really looking into getting, I think it's called My Little Cascadia, or My First Cascadia, or Cascadia Junior. I think that's what it is, Cascadia Junior. But everything that I've been reading about it is just like, play the family game for Cascadia. Just play the family one, which is literally just grouping animals together and scoring them. If you have 1, it's 1 point. If you have 2, it's 3 points. If you have 3, it's 5 points. Something like that, of the same animal.
If you just do groups.
If you just do groups of the same animals. So I introduced it to Lola, and I told her, I was like, hey, you know, we're going to match these animals. You're going to put the animals together. If you want to, you can match the colors together, the lands together. You can put the mountains there, this there, whatever. And she really like latched onto that. She really got into matching all the mountains and putting the swamps. What was hard for her was getting one token and then another habitat tile, right? Because you're not supposed to get the same ones. So she was trying to get one and then the other one, right? That was what was really hard for her, was not grabbing the same two, which you could just house rule that. But on top of that, sometimes she would grab an animal and a tile and she wouldn't have anywhere to put the animal. So I was like, no, you have to grab one for one that you can place. But again, this was the very first time that she'd ever played it. And we didn't finish it. We played probably about 15 minutes of it. So next time I do it, I'm going to remove some tiles. Like I said, I'll probably let her just choose ones in line or however she wants, kind of thing, until it gets a little bit more. But she did really well. We just scored the groups of animals and not the actual habitat tiles. And I think we were only like 2 points away. So it was really good. I really enjoyed playing this one with her. And then just being able to see like how she has grown from these games and like actually doing the matching and placing the animals together and stuff like that. It was really cool. So 15 minutes and she's real little right now. Yep, yeah.
Pat, it's funny you mentioned that Junior is dumb, because that's how those games go, right? Like, I know people say My Little Scythe is great, right? And then something like Carcassonne Junior is completely terrible, and they're like, just play regular Carcassonne with your kids, right? So it's funny how they like can't quite figure those out.
The balance. I'll say My First Castle Panic, that game is awesome. Like, that game is real good. So yeah, it's because I've looked into like My First Ticket to Ride also, and people are like, no, just
play
Ticket to Ride
with them.
So, Fruticola.
Yeah.
This game was surprisingly good.
Yep, for sure. Thought I was going to sell it
right after we played it. Surprisingly good.
It was just a basic worker placement game. Worker placement game about making colas.
Not colas.
Not colas.
Making jam.
Yeah, making jam.
And we also learned jams, jellies, and marmalades, because it had all the stuff inside of it.
Yeah.
But what was really cool about it, so just this is a basic worker placement game, doesn't sound good, but what was really good was the turn order mechanic, right? It was drawing those cards that you had, and those cards dictated which of your 6 workers you get to play, because you didn't get to play all of them, right?
Yeah,
you had 3 farmers and 3 workers.
The higher the number, the more workers you get, but the later you go in the round. And so then the lower the number, the earlier you go in the round, but the less workers you actually have. And then they all had an ability on there that, I won't say dictated strength, but they were balanced, right? So I had some of the top end numbers that gave me like 6 workers, and it was actually a negative ability. So it wasn't like I got 6 workers and a really good ability. It was a negative ability that like I couldn't jam this season. I couldn't do whatever. So it was really, that was really cool.
Yeah, and I had a couple that were like, if you take this action, you can do it again, or you can choose this different fruit with it. But it was just really cool, because not only did it give you your workers, it gave you the order you had to play the workers in.
That's right.
Right? So to harvest, you had to send out, I don't remember who, but the farmers. Well, if your first worker was a worker, you couldn't do that action. So that was what was really cool. And Devin and I talked a little bit after the stream that I think if we play this one more often, we'll get to know those cards a little bit more, and you'll know when is the right time to jam and when's the right time to sell and all that. What I did find interesting was at the very end, it was just Christmas sale, sell everything, right?
Yeah.
It's just hey, we don't want anybody to feel bad, sell all your stuff.
Well, I think it's more, it's your resource conversion into point,
Yeah.
that whatever they
The 5 to 1, whatever. But it was really good. I had a really good little combo at the end where I think my Christmas sales were doubled for something.
Yeah, it was like
and I had another card
I
that
think
was
you got to
something
go
like that.
up the that like whatever the marker was. You got to go 1 up or 2 up or whatever it was.
It was interesting. It was surprisingly much better than what we had anticipated. Inventors of the South Tigris. So last Sunday, Devin was going to come over. We had this whole big game night set up, and then
Yeah, gonna be awesome.
kids got sick.
And awesome for me.
Yeah, so I still wanted to play some games, and I was hoping to not play solo games. So I texted one of my buddies that lives there in town. He actually texts me all the time to play games, and I never can. But I texted him, and he said, yeah, he was down. He was going to try to get some more people. He had wanted to play actually Wayfarers with the expansion, and I was like, dude, I literally just played this 2 days ago. Like, I'll play it if you really want to, but don't necessarily want to. He was like, oh, okay, well, then let's play Inventors. I was like, yeah. Let's do that. And then played another one that's on the list as well. But what this one does is it shortens the game. Instead of 4 rounds, it's 3 rounds. And it gives you a asynchronous player ability. And so this player ability is really going to dictate how you play the game. So my person gave me...
And I think there's roughly 10 of them or
There's
so.
12. Yeah, there's 12 of them. And they give you different starting resources.
It's all kinds of stuff,
It's
right?
all sorts
Some
of
give
stuff.
you additional boards for your workshop.
Yeah.
Some give you additional workers.
Some give you dice that are wild, kind of. You can use them anytime.
Yeah, they're like, they are...
when you think of broken player powers, it's broken player powers.
and they're all very different. That's the key to it.
And so the one that Wade had was he got to start on the boating track 1 line ahead, and he got whatever ability was underneath it. He got to research, I think, underneath it, or get the thing into his workshop, something like that. The one that I had, every time that I tented, I was able to move down the river a little bit more. So my game was dictated to going down that river and getting tenting actions and stuff like that as much as I could. Oh, that was right. He had an extra tent that he could put out there on his first turn as well. So even though the game is 3 rounds instead of 4, I did not feel like I was hindered. It was a little bit tighter, but I still made it to the end of the river track. I made it up to level 9 on my tower with my workers. And I got pretty much everything I needed to do. I scored a bunch of publisher or those end game scoring goals, and I didn't feel like the game was shortened. It's a, I don't want to call it like a prelude expansion, but it does give you a little kickstart into what you're going to be doing. So it was really good. I really, really liked it. I dominated that game. I crushed. I texted Devin right after, and then he said that I used his strategy.
Yeah, had a full workshop.
So yeah, I had a full workshop.
That's the fun strategy.
So it was good. It was.
I'd be so pissed when I played and I got one that's not something to do with a workshop.
Yeah.
And I have to not get to do that because there's just this thing I like more in that game.
It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So definitely excited to play that one here in probably about a month. We'll live stream that one. So I've got a little practice round in me now.
It happens.
It happens.
So I played this 6 months or so ago. I own this game, and I was at a game night, and somebody busted this out, and we had fun playing it. And so I'm like, oh, I got to play that with Paul and Joe. It's just a filler game. It's a silly filler. It's all it is. Little area control type of thing, and you roll dice, and you basically have this 3 different boards that you're trying to have the most pip value of dice. But there's other things to do besides just have the highest pip value, in which the person that rolls would have the highest. And so, I don't know. It's a neat, silly game. I mean, I'm not at all saying this is the best game I've ever played, but it's fun enough to keep.
Yeah, you have this little board down here at the bottom that you can see there in the bottom of the screen, this side, where you have, I think we were all different colors. This is not
This
Stephen
might
Feld's
be his
heaviest
lightest
game.
game.
But yeah, you're just rolling the die, and then on top of these little ant hills, there's different items that you can get, and those items can go into set collection. What was kind of what I didn't enjoy about it was you remove some of those set collection or some of those pieces when it's a 3-player game. I don't know. It didn't seem like a feasible way to get points.
No, it was the same amount.
I don't know. It was,
No, Paul's wrong. You can get sets for
don't know.
every single player count in that.
maybe you're probably right. It did not feel that way, since you can only claim one row, one column, or whatever. I don't know. It was exactly what I said. It was a filler.
Yeah.
It was nothing extraordinary. I was gonna say I thought I won this one, but no, you lapped me on this one too. So
I don't think this has a score
this doesn't
track.
have a score track, but you doubled my score. So Kinfire Chronicles Night's Fall. I finally got back to this one. It's been probably about a month since I had played it. It's been sitting just on my table. Just as good as I remember it. Absolutely love this game. I'm doing a 2-handed playthrough of it. This last playthrough, it was pretty brutal. I didn't think I was going to make it. So the first person that I fought, the first boss, I think had like 20 health. And so I defeated it. I was down to, I don't know, half of my health. And I had a bunch of Sweet Balm, which is your drink that you could drink to recoup your health. I was like, oh, I'm not going to need this. And as soon as I defeated that first one, it was a shapeshifter. And it changed into a different bear. And I was like, oh, crap. And it had 25 health. I was like, there's no way I can defeat this. So I drank my Sweet Balm, ended up defeating it. And the thing shapeshifted one more time into this human that started at 40 health. And if it drew this one action, it would gain 2 health. It drew that action 3 times in a row. So it was up to like 46. And I was like, there's no way. Like, I just can't win this. But the cards that I ended up drawing were just doing damage. They were hitting this guy heavy. I was able to put a bunch of wounds on him. So every time that he attacked, he was losing health. It was just a ton of fun. I barely made it. I think I had like 2 health left over at the end of it for one of my people. My other person had like 4 or 5. So it was just awesome. And then we went to the town actions. I got to go train up, get some more cards into my deck. Got to go into the inn and recover and get rid of all my exhaustion. It was just so much fun. It was such a blast, and I can't wait to play it again. My brother has it. I hate that I can't. It's so good. I hope that he lets you borrow it when he's done. But yeah, that's Kinfire Chronicles. If all failed last Sunday, I was just going to solo this all day.
Play through some of that.
Yeah, I was just going to keep on playing this. Kingdom Legacy. Patrick, if you're still in the chat, you absolutely got me hooked on this game.
I know, Paul's been talking about it nonstop.
It is so good. This might be one of the only games this year that I've played 10 plus times. Not on BGA. Because literally, it's if I have 30 minutes to an hour, I'm just going to bust it out and play it. But on your turn, you have this deck of cards, and you're going to play 4 cards. And those 4 cards either are going to give you resources, you can upgrade those cards, you can spend them in different ways to fulfill your end game victory points and stuff like that. So right now I have one that's a quest. And so if you have people in your tableau, you can spend them to go on a quest. Every time you spend them, you cross it out. So, the first one is send one person on a quest. You send them, you cross it out. Right now, I'm to the point where it's like have 5 people on a quest. So you only draw 4 cards. You can always advance and get more cards out there, and then get them and send them off and kind of stuff like that. So I've started on the expansions, and what the expansions do is they make you rip up some of your scoring cards. But you'll always be able, you write a number on the box and you score them every time. So you want to get rid of the one that you've scored either the most of or the one that you know you're never going to score, kind of thing. And then you have to actually purge some of your cards. So these cards that you've been putting stickers on and this and that, like you have to rip them up. And it's just so much fun. I love the legacy aspect of it. I've been reading a ton of people, making it resettable and stuff like that. But I don't want to play the game like that. So I'll show you, and then I'm going to show the
same
screen.
way. If a game is meant to be played as a legacy game, that's how I'm going to play it. Right?
It's so good.
I'm going to rip up a card. I'm going to write on things. I'm going to play it the way the game was meant to be played.
So I gave the cards to Lola, and I'll show the screen here in a second. And she was...
Oh, she was getting to rip them?
Yeah. So it was so much fun. She's ripping the cards. And she just had a blast. She stayed home on Wednesday.
Did you make sure she understood? Only if you tell her.
Actually, I did not.
That you're gonna go home and find a game. And,
all my
look,
cards.
Daddy.
Yeah. She stayed home on Friday or on Wednesday, and I was just playing next to her, and I was like, "Here, rip these cards." But it was just so much fun, and just seeing her, I was like, "Yes, that's exactly the feeling that I have when I'm ripping the cards." Also, so favorite card is a Spoiled Princess one. That one is pretty good. All right, moving on.
Kunora, so...
Talking about economic games.
Yeah, so we played this, 6 months, a year ago or so, and Joe really loved this game. We also loved it, and so with Joe coming for that mini-con, we're like, hey, let's play Kunora again. And it was good. Solid game. I think this is one of the neatest player interaction type of games I have played. Not type of game, but the neatest type of player interaction I have played in a game, and I really enjoy it. This was a game that they somehow was good at 2, and has been good at 3, and I can only imagine is also good at 4. Just the way that it plays, the way that the economy works. Paul was able to completely take advantage of basically how Joe and I went in our play style, and I think you ran away with this game.
Yeah, I don't know if I ran away with it, but I did win.
Okay. It felt like a runaway. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe anytime I lose feels like a runaway. But Paul did very well.
I beat 10 points. So
10 points by what?
87 to 76.
So maybe not a super runaway. Felt like it. Yeah. But Paul did very well. And it was just cool. It was really... this is probably one of those that I would play anytime.
Yeah.
We also really like to play Food Chain. Joe is ultimately always going to win that game. That is just his game. But I could see this being one that we cycle in, like one con Food Chain, one con this. Because they play relatively similar in what you're attempting to accomplish.
Yeah.
It's not that those two games are similar by any means, but like...
it's an economic style game where you're collecting money by placing stuff out on the board.
Yeah, ultimately what you're accomplishing in the game. But they fill that same void for us, the type of gamers we are.
We talked about it after this game. Our games are so different in what we enjoy that it's hard to find something that we really all three really enjoy. And I think this is that game.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it has some stuff that I'm not a fan of, that Joe's not a fan of, that you're not a fan of, but there's enough in it that we all do like.
Yeah, I think Joe said it kind of just like that. It was like, it's not a perfect game to him or any of us by any means, but it's a very good game for all of us, right? Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I think it's this game. If you guys saw our again video, this was one that for me it was just like, whoa, it just felt so different than anything else that I had played that I just wanted to keep on playing it again and again.
Messina. So Paul and I have been going through the Sushi games.
Very slowly, but we have been.
Paul, we get through all the games slowly. Yeah, there's no speed.
I know.
But anyway, we've been going through all the Sushi games, and so this was one on the list. And I actually, some of them... Actually, I think all of them. We've all somehow soloed. One of us have soloed first before playing, except for Noir Cities. But anyway, so this is one I soloed, and right away I was like, I didn't like this game. This game was not good. Anyway, but I was like, we got to play it together, right? Maybe the solo is not showing the game well. And ultimately, I don't actually. I'll say my thoughts after you say your thoughts.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree. I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's a game that suffers from a lot of other really good games out there. This is a basic worker placement game where you have a bunch of different tiles and you can put the worker out there, you can do the action, collect some type of resource, and then spend it somehow, whether that's getting little people in your villages or getting people in your buildings that you've built and stuff like that. You're basically just gathering resources, spending those resources in some way to get points. And for that, it's fine, right? It's good. But there's other games that do that better. There's nothing about this game that really sticks out as that's awesome. I really like that mechanic. I want to try that again. It's just a game. To me, it's a game that if it was out there, I would play it because I think we could play this. I think we played it in like 90 minutes, but I think you can play it between, an hour to an hour 15. So if somebody really wanted to, I would. This is never going to be a game that I gravitate towards just because it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah. So, one, I would never play it again. I'm just saying that straight up. I played it solo, didn't think it was good. Played it 3-player, didn't think it was good. It's boring. That's like, that is to me, this game, you never have a turn in which you do anything remotely cool, fun. Like, half of your turns are go somewhere and collect 2 wood or collect a couple resources, right? So that is literally half of your turns are going to be that. And then the other half of the turns, so where you're spending those resources it's go up this track, build this little building thing here, move down that path, and then do one of the basic actions. And on the turns that combo, because there are a couple where you get to combo and do, it's doing 2 of those things. So, I get to build one thing and go up one track. It's just, there's like zero flash. There's never, I'm doing all of this for this turn to be the one that it's just, nope. Okay, last turn I spent my resources, so this turn I'm going to go get some fire. And that's like, it's just boring. That I don't think it'll ever not be just boring.
Yeah, it's this would be considered an introductory worker placement game for sure. It's surprising that it's a Suchi game because knowing his other games, right? There are those kind of flashy moves. There are the I got to play this card to be able to do this, Yeah,
I get to do the bonus action here, right?
It's to me, it's a fine game. To me, it's a definition of a fine game. Honestly, that's really what it is.
Put it in the bad category. This is below average. This one ain't much better.
Moon Colony Bloodbath. I had fun playing this game. Okay.
I laughed.
So
I did laugh.
This is Moon Colony Bloodbath. It is a deck builder made by the same person that did Dominion. And I guess your other favorite one, what's that one called? I don't even remember.
The guy that did Edge of Darkness?
Yeah, didn't he do Dominion?
Edge of Darkness is...
No, never mind. No, that's the guy that did Space Base.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, this guy did Dominion. Anyway, in this game, this is just a game of trying not to die. That's all it is. So you have this colony on Mars, and every turn something bad's going to happen to you, and you're going to try to mitigate that in some way. You start off with 30 population. As soon as somebody's population gets to 0, that triggers the end game. Whoever has the most people at the end of the game wins it. And I think it can go up to 13 rounds. If you make it 13 rounds, that's the end of the game kind of thing. Whoever has the most people at that point win. So you can do 4 actions. You can build buildings, you can get food, you can get money, and you can get cards. Um, and then it's just risk mitigation. That's all it is. You're just mitigating bad stuff coming to you.
The best you can. You're not going to
Yeah,
mitigate.
and you're not going
You're
to.
not going to mitigate 2/3 of the bad stuff. It's just going to happen.
So this was a game that I wanted to play at BGG Spring because it's a deck builder. So I know Devin likes deck builders. I thought this theme would resonate with Joe because it is very thematic, right? You're just trying to put off this to the end. And then for me, it's a silly kind of game. I don't think this game is very good. I probably wouldn't play it again, but I had a lot of laughs playing it, and I thought that was fun.
So we played this after Arborea. And Arborea was a game where both Joe and Paul thought the game felt very long, right? Truthfully, it was a 2-hour playthrough, like 2:30,
I don't even think, yeah.
right? It was like, maybe it wasn't
No,
even 2:30.
I don't think it was 2:30 at all.
It was, in the grand scheme of Euro games, it was not very long. I don't typically feel those time in games, so I did not feel that for Arborea. But when we played this, I felt like this game was excruciatingly long and just could not get to the finish line.
I did not put the time.
I was just ready for it to end. Like I did have laughs and I did have fun in the beginning of the game, and then it just felt like doing the same thing. Okay, here's the one. Give up those people. Oh, okay, here's this. Give up those people. Okay, now I can build, which gives more people, which means
You're prolonging the
prolonged
game.
again. Yeah. Okay, here comes this one. Give up more people. And like, so at the beginning of the game, it was kind of funny of like,
this
losing
robot
those
came
people.
out.
Oh, destroying this building to get these people, right? But for a game that is really just, we'll call it chaos and destruction, it so overstayed its welcome. So I don't know. It's funny because I played a game that I thought, and we'll talk about later, that basically did this theme of chaos and destruction so much better, and did not feel that like, oh my gosh, when is this thing ever going to end? So anyway,
It was an hour 7 minutes long.
what, this game?
Moon Colony, yeah.
Yeah, if this had ended at the 35-minute mark, it would have been like Fromage. I would have laughed the whole time and been like, oh, that was a lot of fun, right? But that extra 25 minutes of just like, I was dreading, oh, we get to work again. Here's me building, and now we all have 9 more people,
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
Joe, I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny. I had a good time playing it. I don't think it was a good game, but I did have a good time playing it. We're going to keep adjusting this here. Perfect. Did you get the new Loki pack?
I did.
You did? Oh, that was that big one.
You asked me about it last week.
That was the big one. I said, why is this so big?
Haven't played it yet, Pat, but I do have it sitting right over there.
Shackleton Base. Okay.
Stinkers for Devin in a row.
Stinkers for Devin in a row. This was one of my most anticipated games. I've played it solo. I played it 3 players with Joe and Devin, and then I actually got to play it again last week with my buddy Wade, with some different ones, some different corporations. So this game, it's pretty straightforward. You have 3 actions that you can do. There's 3 rounds. It's a worker placement game. And then there's 3 corporations that want you to do different things or semi-different things. The corporations that we played, us 3, was one where you are just trading in a resource to gain victory points. Actually, 2 of them were trading in resources to get victory points or some different abilities. And then the other one was getting little astronauts and putting them on cards to get you victory points. So unfortunately, as I was explaining this, I didn't study my audience. And I know Devin trading in resources for victory points isn't his style
Contract
of game.
fulfillment is like
That's
so
low on
low.
Devin's bar of stuff. And then for Joe, it was kind of like they're not really thematic, right? You're just going here, you're gathering this, and you're doing that. Like, you're just gathering resources and spending them. So that was unfortunate. What I did really like about this one was there's this area control aspect to the game where you are placing workers and either getting some resource, getting corporation stuff, or money. And then at the end of every round, whoever has the majority in that column or in that row will get that worker, and then that worker will go to their player board.
And I'm going to chime in here. It's a major aspect of the game and can
Yeah.
be super cutthroat and competitive.
Yeah.
Like it is a make or break your game if somebody swoops in and gets something that you were wanting, or a couple because
Yeah.
they play something.
And I had a pretty good strong start going, and then I fumbled it like I generally do. But what was interesting, and I didn't think about it until our playthrough, was before every income phase, you can rearrange your player board to however you want it to be. So, we all felt like it should have been this very strategic decision of which workers do I want to put out there, because where can I fit them in there.
It
But
wasn't.
before every time that matters, you
Yeah.
can rearrange them however you want.
That's the best. Every time it mattered, you did it the
Yeah,
way that
you
was
did
best.
it the best way for you. And that was really disappointing because it was just like,
Even down to the end of the game, which to me is so weird.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it should have been this decision point of, okay, we're getting close to the end of the game. Do I do these things that are abilities and resources so I can do more, or do I make these victory points?
Yeah.
But no, it's just like, okay, and now these have had their use
Yep.
and your victory points.
and now you move them however you want to. So I ended up playing it with Wade on Sunday, and we played completely different corporations. So one of them was this tree corporation. So what you do is you build out trees onto the moon there. And if you win one of the rows or columns, each of those trees has victory points on it also. So if you win that column, if you take the person, you get victory points with it. The other one was robotics, and robotics was you collect these little robots, and then you go to this other board and you pay resources to get some type of ability. So it's anytime you build, you also get this, but you have to put the robot connect into it to activate it. There's end game scoring stuff. If you have this many structures, get this. So it's just getting more. It's leveling up your actions. And then the other one that we did was Skywatch, and this one was interesting because this was kind of a cooperative one where there is an asteroid coming to the moon and it's going to hit a sector and it's going to destroy everything in that sector and the 6 sectors around it, or the 5 sectors around it. If you reach level 1 of defense, it will only hit one thing. If you reach level 2, it will hit nothing. If you reach level 3, you... No. When you reach level 1, you know what it's going to hit. When you reach level 2, it only does 1 damage. When you reach level 3, it does no damage. So you're kind of working together with the other person on like, hey, we should really figure out where this is at so that we don't build stuff there. So unfortunately, Wade was not going on that at all. It was just me. And of course, the asteroid was hitting where I built my 3 building thing. And so that ended up being negative points for me. But that one was...
Did he win?
No, he didn't. I ended up winning on that one. Also, again, I've played it many times. But I don't know. It was interesting because that one was really the only one that changed the game up enough for me to see a distinction between the corporations. Because most of them are pay this resource, get this thing.
Yeah.
Or put these plants out, get more victory points. That one actually changed the game enough. There's one more, it's the Mars one. That one's the hardest one. I do feel like that one will change it, but I don't know.
Yeah, to me, it was a below average Euro game. And there's just 10 billion Euro games all above my head and around me here that I would always rather play, to where I just never play this game again. And in 5 years, I forget that this game exists.
Yeah, it's one that just kind of fell through the wayside there. Bunch of stinkers for you.
Yeah. we streamed The Shores of Tripoli.
We thought it was going to be good.
So this was the same people that did
Votes for Women.
Votes for Women, which was good.
Very good.
And honestly, I had hopes for this game when reading the rules. I thought, oh, okay.
I agree.
And to me, I thought, and then in reality, it was just dice rolling. Ultimately, it was just completely dice rolling, and it was very apparent, 2 turns into the game that, oh, this is just going to be who rolls better.
Yeah.
And that's all the game was. Whatever you did not matter in the slightest bit. It's who's going to have the best rolls.
Yeah, I feel like the cards do dictate it a little bit, but ultimately it is going to be to the dice rolling, right? The cards can mitigate a couple things here and there, but yeah, it's just who rolled the best. So it's in the coal pile right now for sure. So Clover. We played this one after, I think maybe Underwater Cities. I don't remember. It was after a heavy game, maybe even after Arborea. This is just a silly little game where you have this clover and you get 8 tiles, and those tiles have 4 words on each side of the square. And so you just place them on here, so there will be 2 up on the top here, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the side, and then 2 on the other side. And you have to write a word above them to connect them. And then, you give it to the other people. You throw an extra one in there to just kind of mess with them, and then people try to figure out what you meant. So I think one of mine was like, I don't even remember. You can have like a curtain and blind or something like that, and you can write window above it, right? So that could connect both of those things. You did one that was like for Daredevil that was blind. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was super good. And you had said, like, I hope you guys think the way that I'm thinking.
Yeah, so that's the funny part of this game to me is everybody spends, I'm going to say 2-3 minutes, and you're like thinking, and you come up with this perfect word, and you have like in your head built this path to this word, right? That connects these. And then you throw things out there, and like in my head, everybody is going to think, oh, yeah, this... And then nobody thinks that logical path that you connected at all. And that's, to me, what's so funny, because I'm like, meticulously like, oh, man, this is... Yeah, this links those.
This makes sense.
And then nobody ever takes that exact same path of thought by any means.
And the funniest thing about this game is... thinking that, right? We're all just like, no, this is personalized towards Joe and Devin. This is personalized towards Paul. And some rando came up next to us and was just standing right next to us and just looking. And he goes, can I have a try?
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm just like, no, you don't know us. Like, you're not going to be able to connect this. And immediately he was just like, I think this word goes here and this one goes here and this goes here because this, and that. And I'm just like, this dude just nailed it.
Yeah.
Like, this dude just crushed it. and you and Joe were like, sure, let's try it.
Okay.
And I was just like, I want to play with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know you, but you completely understood it. It's just a silly game. We don't play it until the round. We don't score anything. We just play, 3 or 4 rounds of it and go from there. But it was a lot of fun. I think this is the perfect filler game for after something like Arborea.
Yeah. Pat, you're right. That's I like make these connections in my head, and I'm like, oh, this is so clear. How could you not get this?
It was funny. Yeah. I mean, there was one that it was blind and something else, and my immediate thought was Daredevil, and I think that's exactly what you had thought of.
It was something of those names.
And I was like, oh, it's because we've both been watching it. That's why we did it. Table Fables.
I'm curious what you think about this game.
So I've been playing a lot of little 18 card games lately. This is Jimmy Marrow, Brothers Murph Kickstarter. And it's just a little 18 card game where you make a little grid. And so there's a bunch of different, fairy tale creatures. You've got the wolves, the pigs, Little Red Riding Hood, all that kind of stuff. And what you're trying to do is arrange this grid in a way that you have Little Red Riding Hood next to the bakery, or I'm sorry, you have the Red Riding Hood go through the bakery, so that gets flipped over, and then you want her next to Grandma's house, next to Grandma, and next to something else. You also want the three little pigs grouped together, and then you want one other thing. I don't remember exactly what it is. But you want those three win conditions, and you have 16 turns to do it. So, in all honesty, this is 100% a puzzle. Sometimes the puzzle is unbeatable because the way that the card's laid out. Each card has a different ability. Like you can't move if you're next to this. Little Red Riding Hood can't move if she's next to a field because she gets distracted. This little pig, the little pig, Squiggy, I think was his name, can't move unless he's next to his two older brothers because he's the little pig. He can't go on his way. So if he's on one complete other side, it's really hard to get them next to each other. So I don't know. It's a 18 card game. It's a puzzle. That's all it is.
So I watched some stuff
fine.
on this. I liked Brothers Murph. I think
Yeah.
Jimmy is hilarious. I thought this game looked like such trash.
Yeah,
That was the
fine.
best. Was like, that does not look like a good game. I understand. Really, you're doing it to support them 100%. But this was like, this is not a good game whatsoever.
Yeah, it's one that I would play on a plane. It's one that I would play if I'm waiting for my oil to get changed. Like it's one of those kind of things, right? I mean, honestly, I have a bunch of good games on my phone.
Yeah, I'm playing
that I could do that
Electro
too,
and I'm playing
right?
that.
So I don't know. It's fine. It's a puzzle. That's all it is.
Pat, soon when that comes in, I will play it and I will talk to you all about it because I can't wait. I'm very, very excited, and I know that you had told us before that you play tested it, so we'll talk eventually.
Do you remember this one?
Yeah, this was also an awful game. This is the worst game of all of them.
This was the worst one?
Yeah, I thought so.
No, I don't think it was the worst one. Tabriz is it's a contract fulfillment game. Joe, it wasn't that bad either. I didn't think it was that bad.
This game, I'm going to tell you what this game was. This game was a significantly, I can't emphasize that more, worse Century.
Just play Century is amazing.
Yeah, just play Century. Because this game
I agree with
was
that.
so much worse. That's just, it was not good.
I would play this game again if it was on the table.
There was no fun being had.
For you.
I don't think Joe was having fun.
I guess Joe not either.
There was not anything fun. This game
I think I won this game, which is why both of y'all are...
That's not why.
Yeah, that is exactly why both of y'all are so butthurt about it.
I was not butthurt about this game, I assure you.
Because you tied with Joe, that's what it was. No, this game you have three workers and you are going to different actions around the silk market or whatever this is. And you're collecting different types of silks, and then you are making quilts or blankets or whatever it is, or tapestry. Every time that you bill it, I wonder, yeah. Every time that you make one, you tuck it under, it gives you some little ability. Devin said it. This is Century.
Worse. No. This is not Century. This
worse
is
worse than Century. But to me, Century is really good. Being worse than Century, there's a lot of games worse than Century.
Significantly. This is down there.
But you're just trading in resources. You are completing, like I said, these tapestries. I think it's the first to 5 is the winner. What I will say about this game, 1000% overproduced. There was metal coins, there was dual layer player boards, it was a mat that the player board was.
Yeah. It was also in like those terrible cups, so like by the end it was just
terrible
littered
cups.
all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
It's bad.
terrible.
Do not
terrible.
buy this
No,
game.
moving my workers around seems so pointless. But that's what collected you the resources.
No, it was so bad.
I don't know. I feel like I'm being attacked here by
No,
both
you're
of
not.
y'all.
It's just a bad game. We can move on. That was Tabriz.
I don't think it was terrible. I don't think it was amazing. I would play it again. Obviously, I don't have anybody to play it with, but it is like Century, just with workers.
I would let you propose this to me, and I would say, let's play Century.
And then I would
That's
pick
how-
Century.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. I would let you propose this to me anytime and go, yeah, let's play Century.
I mean, you're not wrong there,
Because
right?
it's basically Century. Like, it is basically Century, so there's
You're
zero
not
reason
wrong
you would
there.
ever choose this one over Century.
You're not wrong there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'm playing Century.
Terracotta Army.
Here you go. Here's a good one.
This was a really good one. This was I'm gonna say, to me, a surprising good one. Like, I like board and dice games.
Yes,
this game is
Century
not
Golem.
at all talked about at all.
No, not at
Right?
all.
Like, I remember when this game came out.
Was it during COVID?
I don't think so. It was at a con that Joe was at, so that was not during COVID. But yeah, this game is just like never really talked about. And I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool how you are building the actual, what is the museum
Terracotta,
called?
the
Whatever
mausoleum?
Whatever the,
I don't know what it is.
How you're building out that with your little terracotta soldiers. And how there's round scoring you got to be thinking of. There's end game scoring you got to be thinking of.
The action selection wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. This game is really, really cool. I really enjoyed this game.
Yeah, Joe, I think that you would really like it, and I want to try it at 3 because for some reason, Devin and I played tons of area majority games.
Yeah, this
last
one would
month.
be very good at 3.
Yeah, this one would be really good at 3. The action selection wheel, so there's 3 different wheels, and every round it's going to turn. And so there's a bunch of actions that go down, and you have to take them top to middle. And so those actions can be like
Middle to outside. You start in the middle and
you
start in the middle of the wheel and you go
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. You're right.
Whichever direction you're going.
You're right. So what you can do is if you don't like the actions, you can actually spend, I think it's a coin, to rotate one of those wheels, and then it gives you a whole new selection of actions to take. Also, if there's an action that you really want, but that space is blocked because somebody else went there, you can rotate it to a different one that's open, and you can actually go there. I thought that was done really cool.
Yeah, and so it's like, it's not worker placement, but you block wedges of the wheel.
Yeah, it's an action selection game with blocking certain selections.
Yeah, that part was just, it was a really cool game.
Yeah, I loved how there's these different workers here on the screen, and each of the workers gave you a different bonus if you paid one of the resources that you had. The clay that you have, if you don't use it in a round, it will dry up, so you can always wet all your clay. Like, that's an action that was really cool. I don't know, it just did a lot of really fun stuff.
It had another game that had a really cool, or just really good in its economy. Between you had clay, you had coins, and then you had your whatever you call the different weapons.
Yeah, I think there's 5 of them, maybe
4 of them.
4 of them.
Yeah, and balancing, like, you were almost always at a deficit on one of them, right? Like, I could have enough clay and coins, but I didn't have the weapons ready, or I had all my weapons ready, but I didn't have any clay to build. Like, it was really well done that way, for sure.
And somehow we both won this game.
Is that a true statement?
It's counted as a win under my app, and it's counted as a win under your app because you found something at the end. But it's still a win for me.
Oh, that's right. We figured out on the scoring.
Yeah, we figured it out on the scoring. But we're both counting it as a win for both of us. I'm currently editing this one, so it should be coming out soon.
Okay, so this is the game I would compare Moon Colony Bloodbath to, in that both are just pure chaos destruction, like typically nothing good's happening, it's all bad type of thing. And I think this one just did it so much better.
I see that.
This game was very fast paced and it was crazy, and both games did not matter who won. Like, that's ultimately, whoever won Moon Colony Bloodbath was just the luck of the draw type of thing. Really, a lot of it is this. I'm not saying that neither game have any skill, but it's so much craziness is happening and whatnot. But this one just was really I don't know, it was really fun and how it was done. And the beginning of the game was this compact cluster where we're just landing on top of each other and somebody's getting thrown in a cliff. And then toward the, and I say toward the end of the game, by the end, and that's not but 20, 30 minutes or whatever, it's amazing how spread out, like you're more spread out and whatnot. It was crazy how it actually kind of seamlessly transitioned into that. And it was just, I don't know, I thought it was a lot of fun. And then we played, so I played this with John and other Paul. And John has all the expansions, so we played, there's a Demolition Derby, circular, you know, it's the Thunderdome is what it is. And that amplified the game for me. That was like even better because then like, instead of even like choosing to race, now we're just trying to
destroy each other.
And it was funny and silly, and you got these like super weapons that like, you know, did things, and it was like, who cares, right? Like, who cares, you know, I landed on you and I'm the one who actually got thrown over here type of thing. And it was just funny. That was like, to me, this one did not overstay its welcome. And I played this at 5 players. I can assure you it was much longer than Moon Colony Bloodbath, but like, funny things were happening to everybody and pure chaos of it all. That, I don't know. That's in my head. I thought right away, I thought back to Moon Colony Bloodbath, and I thought, oh, this is like what I would have wished that was, you know?
Yeah, I got to play this one once. It's funny, Devin texted us, said, I've got the perfect game, it's this one.
Yeah, I thought for sure, I'm like, oh man, me, Joe, and Paul need to play this. We typically always play a racing game. This is we'll call it racing game, but it's really, hopefully you're the one that survives game.
Yeah, I immediately texted back and said I hated that game. I got to play this one once. And everything that you're saying, I enjoyed. I thought all of that was really good. I really liked how it was just chaotic. You were trying to maneuver everything. I absolutely hated, I was the first person out, I think in like a 5, maybe 6 player game. And I had to wait for at least another 30 minutes or at what felt like 30 minutes while everybody else was having fun. And I was just sitting there watching them. That to me just completely ruined it. I did not like just sitting there and watching people have fun with what they were doing. Now, of course, you know, I could still laugh at this and that, but I wanted to be involved with it. It was just that player elimination that really turned me off.
That's interesting because player elimination is actually what triggers the end of the game. So somebody has to get eliminated.
Yes.
But ours, like, it triggered in the next round the game was over type of thing. Like, the person that was out wasn't out. I don't know. It wasn't me. I was second out. I was out very shortly after them.
Yeah.
Right. And I can tell you, me personally, I sat there, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes with a 5-player game. Like, it was not that long at all. It was very quick. So I wonder if it's
and you know, it may have not been.
I wonder if it was just the way the tiles fell, that something happened that was kind of inconvenient that made it extend.
Yeah, and you know what, John? That very well could
right,
be
because
what it was.
it makes sense. It's the same thing with the Thunderdome. Once a person is totally eliminated, that triggers the end of the game, right? So like,
yeah, because I know then like that's when you put that final tile there or whatever, right?
Yeah.
On this game, and I don't know, maybe I got out like right at the very beginning, and I don't remember exactly. It was when the expansion was on Kickstarter. That's when I played the game. I like everything about it, but I just remember sitting there. I just did not enjoy that one bit. I was going to teach you and Joe this one, and that was the whole reason that I played it. And then after that, I was just like, I don't think I want to teach you guys this one anymore.
Yeah, I think you might have just had an unfortunate situation.
It could have been.
Because, like they said, it's usually you have to have a player elimination that triggers the end.
Yeah.
But man, it's like, that's literally the end. And it seemed like it was a well done timing mechanism. I actually thought that was a very clever mechanic, that there is not a finish line
until somebody's out,
because that promotes the chaos. Otherwise somebody just sprint out there, right, to go to the finish line. But instead, you are strategically promoting the chaos of trying to shoot people and land on people and put your big person on top, so you're the one that gets to choose where the other person's thrown.
Yeah, you know, John, I think it does. It probably does deserve a second chance because it does have a lot of stuff that I really like, right? Like
And
it's
the Thunderdome. That I'm telling you, I had fun during the race. I had a lot of fun during the Thunderdome one.
I love dice worker placement in general, and that's what this is with your
Yeah.
people, right? That was what really drew me to this game. I was like, dice worker placement, racing, and this theme, like that's going to be perfect. So I don't know. I would give it another shot.
Poor John, he in our race one, he jetted out toward the finish line. Like once the finish line came out, jetted out, and then it was just a swarm of helicopters on top of him.
Those helicopters are sweet.
all shooting.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, Devin, maybe we try that one at BGG. Well, we can give it a go. Tidal Blades.
Another banger.
This game, I think this is the second time we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
This one is just so much fun. This is such a sleeper. This one was on the coal pile, literally on the coal pile.
Yeah.
And we said, let's try it.
I don't like to get rid of games until I've played them. I have done that with 2 games ever. Most games I am going to at least play one time. This was one I knew I was going to play and never play again.
Yeah, this one was just one that we were just like, let's just play it, we'll sell it. And we got it to the table, and just Devin and I, we had such a blast with it. I don't even know how to explain this game. You have cards, and you are...
This is another one that the winner is just the luckiest.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah,
in the
it really
grand scheme
is.
of things.
It's probably not this one, Pat. This one does not have minis. You're probably thinking of Tidal Blades 2 or whatever that one is.
But there's 3 ways to score in this game. There's a race mechanic, so you can try and just do loops racing around. There is a area control mechanic that scores 3 times throughout the game, and then there is a collecting fruits that is it's a majority of the collected fruit, and the fruit is just 1-to-1 points, and that happens all throughout the game.
Yeah, and so on your turn, you're going to play a card, and if you are the highest card, you get to move if you're the highest.
So everybody plays a card randomly. The highest card gets to move
to the gate,
and you move to wherever the gate is, wherever it is. So like that could be 8 spaces, or that could be 2, depending on where you are compared to the gate. If you're the lowest card, you get to do an ability that is actually on the card. The lower the number of the card, the worse the ability is. So if you are the lowest with a 1 or a 2, you're really not doing a great ability. If you're the lowest with a 5 or a 6, you're doing a pretty good ability. And then if you're in the middle, so there's always 4 cards. So if a 2-player game, you have 2 random cards. If you're a 3-player game, you have 1 random card, or 4, you have all the cards. But if you're in the middle, you place out your banners, and that is for the area control.
Yeah, and so what I like about this is the fact that, you know, you could be going for the highest, but your 8 is better than my 8 because we're in the area of the board where it's orange is the best color. And so, you know, you're waiting your whole turn like, oh, I just need to get my 8. And my 8 is coming in the right place. Here. Yeah.
I can play my high
and
card.
Like, there's nobody that's going to beat my 8. And you play it, and you have the one color that's higher. Yeah. So I think that's really cool that there's always going to be a bottom and there's always going to be a top based on that color. And then, yeah, just everything about it. Like Joe said, they're racing jet skis. Once you reach one of the cards, you can do a trick if you land in a certain space, which isn't really anything.
Stunt on them.
Yeah, you get to stunt on them. You get to do a little Tokyo drift on your jet ski. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Really liked this one.
Underwater Cities. So we'll play 2 Suchi games. One that was subpar and one that was great.
And that was way above par.
Yeah. This is great. This is as good as everybody talks about it is, right? Like this game, if you haven't heard about it, you're living under a rock, because this game, I feel like everybody talks about, and it was just as good as everybody talks about. It has, it's like all of his games, a worker selection aspect, and it's got 3 colors of
Action spaces.
action spaces. So there's
Green, red, and yellow.
red, orange, right? And how that works is green is the strongest action. Green is the weakest actions. Red is mediocre actions. Orange is the best actions. And then you have cards matching the color. And so on your turn, you play a card and do an action. And if you match the color of the action you're doing, you get to do the ability on the card. But the cards work exactly opposite the spaces do. So where orange is the strongest actions, it is the weakest cards. Green is the weakest actions, but it's the strongest cards. And then red's mid. Really cool. Really, really cool game. I don't know. I really enjoyed this game.
Yeah, I thought it was what you had talked about, the cards and the color actions. I thought that was really cool how that was done. I liked on this one how scoring, we were all pretty close. I have on here 82, 82, 71. You and Joe, I don't know the tiebreaker, I don't remember. But we, at least I did something completely different, right? You got tons of endgame scoring cards. I know I sniped one from Joe at the end, or I did something. Oh, I took a railroad spot from Joe at the end, a tunnel spot. I connected basically my whole city out on my player board. So it felt like we did completely different things for endgame scoring, and we were still pretty close at the end of the game, like victory point wise. I don't think I got any end game scoring cards. I just put them off way too long. The one that I was going to get, you got right before I was going to, right before I was ready to. So I think that was really cool. Just the fact that we could do different things and still be fairly close in score. I think the more that you play this game, the more that you'll know what those cards do, and you'll be able to utilize them better by pairing them up at different action spaces.
I think it's more you realize the board layout better.
Or that too, yeah.
I think the cards you can't ever bank on.
That's true too.
Uh,
You know what action spaces do
right, because
what.
there's 3 different decks of pretty beefy decks.
Yeah, that's true. But then I know we probably won't play the set 3 again, but the 2-player board is going to change up those action spaces a little bit more. So that will probably just change it up. I'm super excited to try out the expansion. I actually, never mind, I was gonna say, I don't know what it does. It does what every good Euro does. It adds asymmetric player abilities.
Yeah, who was talking about that earlier? I think Pat
I think
or
that
Patrick,
was Pat, yeah.
one of the two.
Yeah, it adds asymmetric player abilities. So I'm excited to see how that pushes your game.
That is what I always want in a game.
Yeah, so as of right now, definitely top 2 sushi? Top 3? Definitely a top 2. Vantage. I don't know how I feel about this one. I've played it 7 times, so I must enjoy it somewhat. This game is... I've had many talks with you about it. I think I just need a different mindset for this game. I am very goal-oriented. I want to complete goals. I want to fulfill contracts. I want to check stuff off as I'm doing it. I want mid-game scoring. I want this. I want that because I can check it off. I can check it off. In a game of Vantage, I can get a mission that I have 0 idea what to do with it. And literally all I'm doing is walking around a planet. What I need to do, and what I think most people do, is they change their mindset, and that is the game, is walking around the planet. It's exploring, it's looking at this stuff. And I don't know. It's when I've had good games, I have some very vivid memories of those good games, of exactly what I found, of exactly how I went there, and what was that feeling of just, that was awesome. And then I've had some games where it's just, that sucked. I didn't do anything. I couldn't find anything. I didn't gain any new information. I was just wandering for 2 hours. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm just unsure how I really, really feel about it. So, you have the Vantage game that gives you the advantage. I do have the advantage for Vantage. Honestly, though, this is a pretty good live stream game, so I'll probably do more live streams of it just because you literally are just wandering around and it tells a little story. So, on the fence about it. Still unsure. Again, 7 plays in, which is more than I've played a lot of other games, so I must like it somewhat. Remember this one?
I do.
Okay.
I thought this was pretty cool.
Villagers, tableau building, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we were drafting. Were we drafting cards? I don't remember it much.
You had the
Card drafting game.
yeah, you had the market that you were getting the cards from, or you could take the random card based
That's
off
right.
of the
yes.
off the symbol that it was.
I had the
And
winemaker that I could never find.
you had it was houses and hammers. Is that what it was? I don't know. There was one symbol which let you take more cards to your hand, and there was a second symbol that let you play more cards down.
Okay.
And then there was a scoring event that triggered. Was it just at the end scoring? Yeah, it's just at the end, maybe. I don't remember how. House and hammer. Okay, yeah, I can't remember. Was scoring just at the end, Joe? But anyway, yeah, you're basically after playing it once, you're basically trying to build. You do the sets like I did black people, right? So I did all the ones that had the anvil symbols. Somebody could do the whatever the green cards. Okay, yeah, there is a halfway scoring, and then there's the final scoring when the deck runs out, or however it worked. I thought it was cool. It was a cool filler. Like that's you know I think it's one I will never forget how to play, and I could just set up in an instant and play. And I don't know when it lasts 15 minutes, and I think that was perfect. And I would not play 2 games of this in a row. I would just play one, let it be a filler. Okay, that's what you scored, got those, that's cool, and then move on to the next game. But I had fun.
Yeah, I remember liking it. I thought it was good. I don't remember how to play it.
I mean, that was it. It was you went through and you picked so many cards. Whatever our base was, I can't remember. I think our base was like you get 2 cards and then more houses.
Oh, and then
more
you had
cards.
the houses that let you draw more cards.
And
That's
then
right. That's
you
right.
played whatever 1 or 2 cards or whatever it was, 3 cards, and the hammers let you play more.
Joe, do you have the other 2? I think the next one is at cities, and then the next one is like moon. I think there's 2 more. Lunar or something.
I feel like I don't know anything about those, but if it's like any other game like this, right, it's just going to add
different things,
ability type of things on the cards.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever need any. You need one of the whatever they are.
Yeah.
This is the one.
It's the point whatever games, right? Point salad, point galaxy.
Yeah, like
point
you only
city.
need one of those. But we
didn't even play with the module, so there's even more in this one.
Yeah, it's just going to add different cards, and I don't think it's necessary. Whichever one you got, if you got villagers, that's good, probably good enough. If you got whatever the other ones are, that's good enough.
That's good enough also. So, yeah, obviously I don't remember much about it, but I do remember it was fun. So, Voidfall.
So Joe left a day early because
he didn't want to play Voidfall with us.
Because he specifically said, I am not playing Voidfall. So he left. And
no, I think it's because he just recently had a child.
So Paul and I played some Voidfall. We played co-op.
Played co-op and completely ignored the boss.
Yeah, so we hadn't played in a little bit, so we had to refresh through the rules. We did that. I mean, this is a long setup. If you're not playing regular, I bet it was an hour of setup.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And it's a decently long game too. And yeah, we just we went into playing. Oh, let's remember. Oh, this is the event. Yeah. Oh, this is that.
And we played the first round in hard mode.
Yeah, we never first round and a half. We never looked at what the end game scoring for them are. And yeah, so 2 things. One, we played the first round in super deluxe hard mode where we were playing too many of the bad cards. Basically, we were doing it's supposed to be 1 per round for our turns. We were doing 1 on my turn, one on Paul's turn.
Yeah.
So there was that, and then we ignored some aspects of in-game scoring. So like I told Paul I don't feel bad at our loss at all, because I was like, oh, we would have easily like beat this thing had we there are ways
The harbingers, right?
there are
That
ways
was the
of
biggest
us
one.
making them not have points, and we just ignored that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of times where it was just like, oh, let's get rid of that harbinger. No, let's actually get this that
let's
gives
just do
us
this
a
other
few
little
more,
thing,
right?
that
When
wasn't really doing anything. And
give us 5 points, but getting rid of the harbinger was like
Yeah.
10 points that it would get rid of, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But even with that, I think that this game is just, it's so good. Like just the action selection cards that you have. I really like in the co-op how there are the group cards that it's like, hey, are you going to do this action? Because if you are, I can take this card that will do good for me, but it's also going to do good for you, and it's going to benefit both of us in this way. So I think that's done
Yeah, it's a really cool
well.
interaction from that point. Other than that, there's like not much of a like I do much that affects Paul. It's not like, oh, I can kill this guy to help save Paul. It's not really how it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way those cards are, I don't know. It's really cool.
It's honestly, it's the perfect co-op for us to play, because we can kind of just do our own thing, right? You're not gonna. No, there are better moves that you can do, and I'm gonna ask you like, hey, do you think I should do this, this, and that? But ultimately, my person in this game specifically, they wanted those. I think it was the banking guilds, the money guilds, and it was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be getting these guilds out here, and I'm going to slowly expand my area. And you, I think, were playing as an aggressor.
Yeah. So this is the first game I played where I went an expansive route.
Yeah.
And it's neat. So before, I've always done the economy route. 'Cause that's what I love. No surprise there. And this, I went a more expansive route, and it's neat because getting all the territories, you have a low income numbers, but you start getting more that way because you start getting more territories that way. So it really is it is just like a totally different way to play. That was also, I don't know, for me, just much fun. And then I just like the technologies are always different. There's tons of them. And so even with having the same ones, your faction is going to dictate like, oh, I can't do that combo I did last time. Like, I have to go something different, so I'm going to get this technology. Or in this case, like, I'm going to get some battling type technologies.
Yeah, I think you had I don't remember if you got terraforming on this one, but I know you've had terraforming in the past, and this one you're like, no, I need torpedoes. Like, this is what I need to go in, and when I go in, I'm going to do that salvo. Wayfarers. We streamed this one last week.
Yep.
And I texted Devin when I was relearning the game. Last time I played this was with Joe about 18 months ago. And so I had to relearn it. And I texted Devin when I said it. I said, man, this game is really good. I forgot how good this is. It's just fun. I really enjoy just the building out of your sea or your land, whatever you have there. I've mentioned it before. This is a game where you have to be very intentional in what you're doing, because you can do a lot without scoring anything. In this last playthrough, I was pretty intentional on what I was wanting to get. We played with the expansion, and I thought the expansion added enough. It added the main thing I guess it added was that wild resource. Like that's really the biggest thing.
The Wild Guild?
The Wild Guild, yeah, the red influence. Because in reality, you and I kind of ignored the overseers. We didn't use them very much.
I used it pretty.
Did you use one? You ended up getting the overseer?
Oh, the tucked overseer.
The tucked overseer,
no,
yeah.
I used the
little worker guy that you
person
hired. Yeah,
quite
I thought that one was a good addition. The worker that you add in there, because it gave you, was it ability? No, it gave you resources, or little tiles that you could put onto your player board. And I did like the end game scoring that it changed. Scoring your caravan with the 4 tiles. If you have 4 tiles, you get a victory point. It lets you score the secondary tags, and it added a new tag in there. So those things I thought were pretty good.
what I liked was it's very easy. Wayfarers is very much a wide open sandbox of a game. That's like there is some tactileness in what cards are out there, but for the most part, it's wide open. Getting to play.
Have a good one, Ken.
It's wide open in how you're going to score points or do your thing. What I liked is it is very common in Wayfarers for your first handful of rounds to all be relatively mapped out and identical. You're always going to use a dice as a camel to expand your land side. You're always going to use a dice as a sail to expand your ocean side, and then that basically leaves you one dice to, a lot of times it's go get a green person, right? Or if it's a 6, you can go get a space card. But that's it. You're very limited on your opening turns of what you're going to do with your dice. Having that new spot to go get the red people now changed that. There were several rounds where I went and got a camel, went and got a person, and then did a green card, and I didn't actually expand the sea, right? So it didn't make it the same kind of, we'll call it sing-songy gameplay in the beginning until you get your own cards. It added quite a bit of variety and choice there, because now you have these 3 spots plus your whatever always go-to spots. So
Yeah, I think it also does open it up a little bit with the hourglass. So if you get stuck in the journal,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So it opened that up, and then also with the red tiles, it made every time you use a certain color worker, you were getting something back for it also. So that's not super frequent that, oh, I'm going to use this yellow worker and then I'm going to use it again, I'm going to use it again, but it does give you something back for using that. So it just becomes a little bit, the knot got loosened a little bit on how tight everything is in that game. So it is going to be a little bit more forgiving. It's going to be a little bit more flexible in the path that you're taking for journaling. Overall, I thought the expansion was good. We've talked about it. I'm pretty 99% sure that expansion was designed into the game and they stripped it and then sold it to us at a later date. But it was good. It was really good.
Yep.
Last game here.
Wonderland's War. Another game I had played with John and Paul. Not this Paul, better Paul.
Better Paul.
If you watched our Again video, this was on there for me because we played this game and instantly I was like, oh, that was completely awesome. I want to play that game again. And then here we are, fast forward many moons later, finally getting to play it. It was awesome. I absolutely love this game. Just so much fun. It's built into 2 phases. There's the tea party phase, which is all kinds of things. It's recruiting more workers for the second phase, the area control phase. It's getting people with special abilities. It's getting quest cards. It's getting more power for your people, unlocking abilities. All kinds of things can happen. And it's a really cool mechanic of how you go around this table and you're collecting these madness shards or shards of madness, and that part's really cool. And so that's half the game, and then the other half is the actual area control, which is your bag builder thing. Yeah, so talk about, this was on my list, right, of again, and after we played it, Paul goes, man, I want to play that again. I'm like, funny you say that. I put out a video that this is on where I said that thing. I don't know what 2 games that were omitted from the list. I think I played Scarlet Bray and forgot to put it, but anyway, it's nonetheless talking about Wonderland's War. Yeah, and this game was just so good, and it's funny because so when me, Joe, and Paul played this, whenever I got the Cheshire Cat. I remember that, right? And I told the guys, to say, hey,
I think I was the Jabberwocky.
I don't care who I am. but I would like to be something besides Cheshire Cat. And we dealt out randomly, and I got the Cheshire Cat. And I'm like, if you guys don't mind, I said, look, I won with it. It's not that I think it's a bad character.
Yeah.
I just would like to try something else. And so I played Alice this time, and Alice's ability was she went backwards around the table, which was neat because it was this weird thing where I got like first dibs at like some of the far cards. But then when I came back around the table, there was less options. And so sometimes I was the first head of the table. But if I wasn't the first head of the table, all of those would be wide open for me, which was pretty cool. And then, I don't know, it was just, this game's fun. This game is so much fun. It honestly made me be like, I would love to buy this game if I had a group to play it. But I will never buy it because I know I don't like... I think we would play it again, but we could just play it again at a con.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's like, I don't have a group that I...
The amount of times that we get together with our wives,
Yeah.
which would be when this would be played.
Yeah, and I think they would have fun with this, right?
It would be a one-time play.
Yeah.
Two-time played.
So that's what holds me back from getting it. But man, it was so much fun. And turns out Wonderland's War Duel is coming to Kickstarter later this year. I don't know anything about that, so I can't say whether... Duel does not mean it's the same game by any means whatsoever, right? Like, some Duel games very much are that same experience, and then some Duel games are just the same... They are the same name, and that's it, right? Like, you're going to have Alice in Wonderland themed something, and... it could be a beat 'em up, game type of thing. You just never know. What I do think is cool with that Kickstarter, I do know, is it's adding 2 more characters for this game. So
That's pretty sweet.
And so, like our game, we played with the Cheshire Cat, the Alice, the Jabberwocky, and the Mad Hatter. But yeah, it was a blast of a game. What I was going to say, though, I wish I had kept the Cheshire Cat because I ended up taking so many madness shards. I was the person that had the most. I got the extra madness chip all 3 rounds of the game. And the Cheshire Cat's ability is you give madness shards to other people. Right? And I'm like, dang it, I should have kept the same character I did. But we had a lot of fun. It was a very tight game between me and Paul. And we played 2 very different strategies. Paul was like, he was holding down some areas that he like won and put castles in, and then it was just good. And then it made the betting mechanic, because we had 4 people, a whole lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So overall, great game.
Joe, what are the 2 games that were omitted?
Yeah,
I don't know what they were. Oh, we did play Neon Rain.
Oh yeah,
I did not put that. I didn't track that. We'll talk about Neon Rain real quick. That is just a head-to-head battler that I got to play with Joe, and Joe really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I don't remember who we played, but it was just a back and forth, just kind of beat 'em up style game, where we were throwing our combos. And somebody came up and was looking at the game and was like, "Oh, that looks awesome!" So we got to talk to him about it. But yeah, that one was really fun. I really did enjoy Neon Rain. So Pat got to show that one off, and he liked it.
I did play Scar Bray. Missed it. Played it a couple times actually.
Played it a couple times.
Yeah. It's fine. Solo is fine.
Did you try? Devin, I did send you that one too. Ave Caesar! You weren't putting that trash on there? Okay. We're going to talk about it.
No, we're not talking. It was a stupid game.
It was a very stupid game that I had the most laughs about because just the guy that we played it with.
Paul's laughing at somebody.
No, I'm not laughing at
definitely
somebody.
Neurodiverse.
No, that's
okay,
not why I'm laughing at him.
Let's be clear here.
No, that is not why I'm laughing at him. This was a racing game. We were leaving the con, and this was a racing game, and the guy said, "Hey, do y'all want to play?"
No, that wasn't it. But first and foremost, let's tell the story
right. Did we go
right.
up to him?
We were leaving, and Devin was like, hey, this guy is setting up what looks like a racing game.
That's what it
And he
was.
had a wanted
Yeah.
player sign. I'm like, let's play this real quick.
Yeah, that's what it was. And so we
So I
asked him.
asked him, I said, hey, how long is this play? He was like, it's quick.
20, 30 minutes, right? Anyway, this game...
That's all we need to talk about.
No, this game was made in 1989, and it was just playing cards with numbers, and those numbers dictated how far you moved.
Chariot
Right,
racing.
is chariot racing. And so...
And that was it. That
you
was
could
the game.
block... That
Game
was
is
the game.
done.
You could block
There's nothing
people
else to really
off.
talk about. You play a card with a number on it, you move that many spaces.
But the one biggest rule was you had to go in front of Caesar between rounds 1 and 2, or between rounds 2 and 3, and you had a coin, and as soon as you went in front of Caesar, you had to flip it in the air and say, Ave Caesar! If you didn't do that, you couldn't win the game. So, it was a terrible game. It was... Devin, I think, had all the ones in his deck at the same time, so he couldn't move at all. The dude blocked me a couple times. That guy ended up winning, but it was just
no, definitely
Joe
definitely
won?
Joe won by like miles.
Oh, that's right. Joe did win.
Yeah, Joe
The
was
other
like
dude blocked you and me.
dang near a lap ahead of everybody.
That's true. That's why Joe didn't forget about the game. Yeah, Joe ended up winning.
No, I didn't forget about it either. It was terrible. We've talked about this game way too much already.
And then the guy blocked us off. Yeah, that was Ave Caesar. It was a silly game. One that I'll never play again. So
Yeah.
that is everything that we played last month. What do we have coming up this month? Wow. You are out next week.
Yeah, I'm super busy, so
you are super busy.
I will be playing very little games.
Very little games. I will be live streaming next week on my own. I don't know what. No,
Wait,
not next week. We're together next week. Yeah.
I will be here. Next week we're doing Scholars.
Next week we're doing Scholars.
Actually, we know what we're doing this
That's
month,
right.
right? So we're doing Scholars, then you're live streaming.
Then my live stream.
Then we'll do Inventors.
Might not do Inventors that day because it's at my house. We'll see.
Yeah, that's probably not a your house game by any means.
We'll see. But we'll figure that out. As for videos, we have... Last night I went live. I played Embers. It's currently on Kickstarter. Go check out that video. Next week we have Galactic Cruise, 2-player playthrough that Devin and I got to.
Joe, I already bought tickets. I am not busy. I bought tickets.
I assumed we were going.
Well, Joe and I had talked because...
Oh, okay.
I have a wedding. It turns out it's like literally I'll be flying back from the wedding and like a day later is the con type of thing. Like it's that weekend and a couple days and con. So, but I thought the wedding fell during BGG con. Anyway, it doesn't. So
we are on for that for sure.
We are.
So we have Galactic Cruise coming out. We have another Kickstarter video coming out the week after for Stakeout. And then, big surprise, we're getting the White Castle Duel. I didn't even know that we were getting that game, so they're sending it over. It should be here on Monday.
Do we know if it's anything like White Castle?
It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, exactly. Because
it
duel
doesn't
just
seem
means
like
cash.
Cash in. Actually, there is 0 dice in the White Castle Duel, and there's 2 rounds.
What?
2 rounds, 12 turns, 0 dice. So we're gonna get that one played. Should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it.
How can you be excited? You don't even know the game.
No, I do know the game. I read the rules already because I'm super excited for it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's similar, but no dice. But yeah, so we'll be that video will be coming out soon as well. That's all that we have. Appreciate you guys being here. This is a little bit longer stream here for talking games, but everybody in the chat, John, Paul, Joe, Ken, Pat, Patrick, everyone that's been here, we appreciate it. As always, remember to like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff really does help us, helps our channel grow. And we will see y'all next week. See y'all later.